Hello, my name is Georgie and I'm a physiotherapist here at East Kent Hospital University Foundation Trust. Welcome to our beginners to intermediate level Pilates class. If you have any concerns about exercising, please consult your GP or a health professional for advice before you start this class. The class is designed to help support your rehabilitation with your physiotherapist and is focused on a Pilates-based strengthening exercise program. We're going to start the class with a warm-up in standing, progress to some mat-based exercises and then have a cool down. All you need is a mat or a bed if more comfortable, some loose, comfortable fitting clothing and a pillow. If at any point any of the exercises become a little bit too much, take a break and then re-begin with the next exercise. Please don't push into pain and remember to let your physiotherapist know how you got on. Now we're ready, let's begin. Okay, now we're ready, let's begin. So start with your feet together and then take your heels and toes apart so your feet are square under your hips and your shoulders. I want you to begin by thinking about a helium balloon attached to the top of the head and it's lengthening you up nice and tall so you're growing long through your spine. Then we're going to take a small tuck through the chin, lengthening through your cervical spine. Imagine you've got a soft peach tucked underneath your chin there. Take a nice big roll of the shoulders up and back and down so you're opening wide through your collarbones and letting your shoulder blades sink down in towards your back pockets. Come and settle down through the ribs so we're watching out for any rib flaring, which basically means the ribs popping up. So we're keeping our ribs nice and soft. And then take your hands and pop them onto your hips. From here, we're going to start with some pelvic tilting. So I want you to imagine your pelvis as a bowl of water and you want to gently slosh the water out through the front of the pelvis and then through the back. Or imagine curling your tailbone underneath you and then back the other way. So it's a gentle rock, loosening off the lower lumbar vertebrae. So if I stand to the side, you'll see that little tilt forwards and then backwards. So keeping that tilting movement going, keeping the ribs nice and soft and then soft through the knees as well, we're going to start making it a little bit smaller to find the middle of those two ranges. And that's our neutral spine, which is the optimum position to start getting our pelvic floor and our core muscles working. So holding in that middle position, we're going to relax our arms down by our sides, take a nice deep breath in and all the way out. Then we're going to work at setting our core. So I want you to imagine there's a zip going from your tailbone underneath up towards your belly button. When you take a breath out, you're going to draw that zip in and close it. So nice big breath in. And as you breathe out, we're drawing up through the zip, closing through, drawing in with those lower tummy muscles and hold that there as you breathe out. Now we're going to add in our pelvic floors. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to imagine we're drawing up through our back passage and then up through our front passage as if stopping a flow of urine. And then imagine that your pelvic floor is like a handkerchief that you're drawing up through the middle. So we're getting that lift. So big breath in and then draw up through your back passage as you breathe out, up through the front passage and then that gentle lift through the middle and hold there. And again, breathing out. And again, we're going to combine them together. So we're going to take a big breath in. We're going to zip up through our tailbone up towards our belly button and then draw up with our pelvic floors and set that spine neutral as you're breathing out and hold there. Holding that spine neutral position, let's just start with some gentle circling of the weight through and between the feet. And start making that movement that little bit smaller until you're settling in the middle, so equal weights going down through both feet. Again, take another nice deep breath in, holding to those lower tummy muscles on the pelvic floor. As you breathe out, we're going to start into our foot series. So we're floating up onto tippy toes and we're holding here. Then we're going to take a small bend down through the knees, making sure the knees are straight over the toes. Hold, drop the heels and relax. And again, floating up onto tippy toes, nice and high, hold that balanced position. Bend down through the knees, drop your heels and relax. And keep going here, so tippy toes, bend through the knees, drop your heels, relax. Let's do 3 more. Up we come, bend through the knees, drop the heels. All the time, maintaining that neutral spine, keeping those lower tummy muscles switched on the pelvic floor. And now let's go back the other way. So we're going into a squat. We're going to sit back with our weight into our heels, so nice and loose to the toes, making sure knees are straight over our second toes. Hold, come up onto tippy toes, grow nice and tall and relax. And sit down into that squat, hold, come up onto tippy toes, grow nice and tall and relax. Let's go for 3 more here. Okay. Keeping those lower tongue muscles switched on. And that last one, squat down, tippy toes, up nice and tall, and just relax. Have a little shake through, make sure everything's nice and loose. Let's just reset, so finding that center position, growing nice and tall. Take a little soft bend in through the knees. With our right shoulder, we're gonna roll up and back and down, and then reach up towards the ceiling, so we're opening up through the rib cage on that side. A little side bend over and scoop all the way around, so you're taking a half bend through the middle, and then gently restack your spine, one block at a time as you roll back up into standing, and relax. And let's do the other side. So soften the knees, left shoulder rolls up and back and down, reach up towards the ceiling, a nice big side bend, scoop all the way around, and roll and restack that spine, one block at a time. Let's do a couple more to each side. So right shoulder roll, reach to the ceiling, side bend, scoop round, and then restack nice and gently. And then the left roll, reach tall, side bend, big scoop round, and then slowly restacking that spine, one block at a time, and rest those shoulders down. Let's keep working on our upper spine mobility. So again, resetting that neutral spine, making sure both hips are staying pointing forwards. We're going to float both arms up to 90 degrees. Take a nice big deep breath in, and as you breathe out, your right arm's going to imagine you're drawing back on a bow and arrow. So you're working back through, and as that hand passes the face, you're going to follow it around with your eyes, making sure the hips are pointing forwards to open up through the chest. Hold here, and then roll that arm back in again. And again, nice big breath in. And as you breathe out, open with the left, so drawing back on that bow, following your hand around with your gaze, making sure those hips are pointing forwards, and you should feel a nice bit of mobilizing in your upper spine. And again, nice breath in, and breathe out. Let's do a couple more to each side, seeing if you can get that a little bit further each time. Big breath in. And one more to each side, so big breath in. Check in with those hips, make sure they're pointing forwards. And breathing out. And now relax those arms down, take a nice shoulder roll. Again, just checking in with that neutral spine, making sure we're staying engaged and our knees are soft. We're going to reach both hands up towards the ceiling in our chest stretch, hold here. Have a little look up at your right hand and reach up towards the sky, opening up to the ribs again on that side. Come back to neutral and then reach up to the left. And let's just challenge that balance a little bit further. So coming up onto tippy toes, hold here, keeping that neutral spine. Have a look up at the right hand and reach up through. And then towards the left. And as you float back down, just popping the hands behind the head. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, relax them all the way down. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just gently tilt the chin down towards the chest. Hold. Coming back in, just watching those ribs are staying nice and soft. We take another nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to side bend down, keeping elbows nice and wide. And breathe in to come back. And side bend to come down the other way. And breathe in to come back. And again, we're going to increase that stretch a little bit, so big breath in. As you breathe out, we side bend down to the right and then extend that upper arm a little bit further. If that's too much, just go back to the first stretch. Pop the hand behind the head, drawing back up to the center and down to the opposite side and extend that top arm. And then drawing back to the center and relaxing those arms down. Take another nice big shoulder roll and relaxing down through that way. We're going to move on to the lower part of our body now. So again, finding that neutral spine, making sure we're still in the middle, drawing up through your pelvic floors and your lower tummy muscles. We're going to start with a squat. So with your squat, we're taking the weight into the heels, we're keeping the toes nice and loose, and we're going to sit back as if we're sitting on a chair. You should always be able to see your toes in a squat. So when you're ready, bringing arms forwards, we're sitting back down into a squat, we're holding, keeping knees nice and square, and then rolling back up again. And again, sitting down, hold, and rolling back up again. Sit back. There we go. And we're going to go for 10. So 6 more. Keep checking in with those knees. And as you sit down, weight into the heels and then squeeze those glutes to come back up again. So really thinking about activating those bottom muscles and your lower pelvic floors and the toe muscles as you're coming back up through. 2 more here. Lovely. And last one. Just go as low as you feel comfortable and relax. Give the knees a little shake through. We're going to add a little balance component into that by adding a tiptoe for the next set. So when you're ready, just tucking that tailbone, engage the core, sitting down to the heels, hold. And then as you come back up, now we're coming up onto tippy toes, hold, and sit back down for 2. That's it, and up. 3, and as you're coming back up, squeeze those glutes. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and last one there, 10, and relax. Have a little shake through. We're going to do one last 10, but hold for a little hold at the end. So when we're ready, sitting back again, and coming up, and down. 1, sit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more there, 9, and that last one we're going to come down and we're just going to add a little hold in that squat position for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up we come and have a little shake through. Okay, now we're going to move on to a slightly wider squat. So I want you to take a heel and a toe apart so you've got that little bit more distance than the shoulder width between the feet. And again, we're going to sit back into those heels in that lower squat and squeeze onto the glutes and up through pelvic floors as we come back up into standing. And let's go for 10 and 9, 8. Don't forget to breathe. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. That's it, 6. We've got 5, 4, see if you can get a little bit lower, 3, 2, and that last one we're going to come down and hold. I want you to take your elbow and just rest it onto your thigh, reach your left hand up towards the ceiling and take a small side bend over, hold, and then take the elbow over onto the opposite side, reach up with your right arm coming over, trying to stay low in those legs. Coming back to the centre, one more to each side, that little bit lower if you can. And over to the other side. And then coming back up. And then take that heel and toe back in again. Let's just take a second to reset, make sure we're still in that neutral position. So shoulders, hips, knees and ankles, level on what we call the train tracks. Nice and relaxed through our shoulders, tall through the spine. Take the hands onto the hips and have that little tilt again, just to find that centre spine once again. Engage those lower tummy muscles, so drawing up through the zip, up with the pelvic floors as well. We're going to take our weight over onto our right leg, step slightly out with the left, keeping the pelvis level and staying up nice and tall. We're going to lift through the left glute, hold here and tap back down. And we're going to go for 10. Keeping that neutral spine, keeping up nice and tall. What we don't want to see is any tipping through the trunk. And that gentle, slow, controlled movement through the hip. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that last one. Now if you want to, we're going to make it a little bit trickier by adding the arm. So again, just checking in, making sure we're nice and tall. We engage through our lower tummies. We're going to lift both arm and leg, hold in that balanced position, and relax back down. And let's go for 10 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, take breaks if you need to, 8, 9, and that last one, we're going to try a little hold. So lifting with the arm and the leg, staying engaged, breathe and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And have a little shake out of that stabilising leg. Now let's do the same on the other side. So again, starting in that square position, finding that neutral, taking the weight over onto the left and just sidestepping out with the right. Keeping nice and tall through the trunk so we don't tip. We're squeezing and activating through that right glute to lift the leg and come back down. And we're going to go for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10, and have a little second before we add the arm. So when you're ready, 1. If at any point this gets a little bit tricky, just go back to just doing the leg. And halfway there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and remember that last one's a hold. So when you're ready, lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, and have that little shake through. Lovely, now things are a little bit warmer. We're going to start with a few little spine roll downs. So come to the edge of a mat, and I want you to imagine that you're stuck to a brick wall, and we're going to roll and peel and unpick your spine one block at a time. So this is a lovely mobilising exercise for the whole spine. So begin with a nice deep breath, tucking in and engaging through the core, and when you're ready and breathing out, tuck the chin gently down towards the chest. Then start to roll and curl through your shoulders, keeping the spine in that neutral position. And then slowly as you roll down, unpicking the spine, one block at a time. Just take your time and go as low as you feel comfortable to, keeping the knees nice and soft, nice and relaxed in the neck. Take a nice deep breath in at the bottom. And when you're ready, engage and squeeze through those glutes and roll and start to restack your spine, one block at a time, nice and slowly. And spend a bit of time anywhere that feels a little bit stiff. And just relax the shoulders. Let's try that again and see if we can go a little bit further. So again, engage with that nice big deep breath, drawing up through the lower tummy muscles in the pelvic floor, and start as you breathe out, tucking chin down towards chest, rolling down through shoulders first, unpicking that spine, imagining it's either a string of pearls or a bicycle chain that you're unpicking one block at a time, rolling down. And at this point, you can either rest the hands on the shins or tuck your fingers underneath the toes, just where you feel comfortable. Have a little loosen off of your neck, and just start with a little sway from side to side so you can feel that tension and opening up through your hamstrings, which are the muscles that run down through the back of the leg. And just spend a moment here working on getting a bit more mobility through them from side to side and forwards and backwards. And then when you're ready, take another nice deep breath in. Engage through those glutes, so squeezing them up, and roll and peel and restack your spine, and try and think about that space and that opening up and growing a little bit taller. For our next one, we're going to roll down and come onto all fours. If you need to pop a little pillow underneath your knees just to support your knees, that can be an idea if you get sore knees. So taking a nice deep breath in, and again, unpicking that spine, rolling down through nice and gently. Taking a small bend through the knees and just walking those hands forwards. So into our 4-point position here. So from here, you want hands under shoulders, you want knees underneath the hips, and you want to open those fingers wide, so we're spreading the weight down through the wrists. With the hands, I want you to really think about pushing the floor away, so you're engaging through your shoulder girdles, keeping the chest nice and high. What we don't want to see is the chest dropping down and the shoulder blades pinching together at the back, so we're keeping that nice open space through the shoulder girdle on both sides. We're lengthening through our neck, so we're still thinking about that soft peach tucked under the chin, because what we don't want to see with the exercises is any chin poking and crunching up through the neck here. So staying nice and open through the neck. The shoulder blades are tucked down. Okay, so now we're going to move on to setting our spine, our lumbar spine. So we're going to gently curl the tailbone underneath us, arching back. So working on that mobility again. And then starting to make that movement a little bit smaller until you find that center position. So drawing belly button up to spine, zipping up the zip from underneath, drawing up with your pelvic floors. And what we're looking for is a nice flat spine and the hips nice and level. Okay, from here we're going to take another nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out again, really work on engaging those lower tummy muscles and up with the pelvic floors and hold here. So we're keeping nice and stable, your back should be nice and level. And from this position, we're going to start lengthening out and lifting through our right arm and holding here. The things to watch out for is that you're staying strong through your left shoulder, you're not dropping the chest down towards the mat, and then draw the arm back in. And swap sides, so lengthen out to the opposite side of the room, arms should reach up to about ear height, hold, and draw back in. And let's keep going with that movement, so swapping from one side to the other, staying engaged through the lower tummies, making sure we're breathing, making sure equal weight's going down through our knees, we're not tipping or twisting through the pelvis. do one more to each side. Now, if this is a challenge enough, just stay here. Or we're going to go to the legs now. Okay, so when we're ready, have a little loosen off through the shoulders. Come back up into our 4 points. So again, engage through the shoulder girdles. Coming in with the lower tummy muscles, staying nice and flat through the back. We're going to go with our left leg and extend through the hip and lift. So our watch points here is our back staying nice and straight. We're not tipping or opening through the pelvis here. And then drawing the knee back in. And swapping sides. So extending out with our right leg, hold, staying engaged to our neutral spine, and drawing back in. So let's take it one step at a time. Just keep checking in with the neck, making sure we're in that nice neutral position. We're staying strong in our shoulders. And as you extend that leg out, we're squeezing through that glute to hold and draw back in. Another little watch point is that your knees aren't getting closer and closer together. We're staying on those train tracks. Okay, so staying strong in those shoulders. Keep checking in with those lower tummy muscles. Let's do 2 more to each side. There we are. And last one. Let's take a little sit back just to take the weight off of the wrists. Open the knees a little bit wider and just stretch the arms forwards, resting your forehead onto the floor and letting your wrists circle a few times in one direction and back the other way. And when you're ready, we're coming back up into our 4 points. So the last part of this exercise is joining those movements together, opposite arm with opposite leg. So setting that neutral spine, engaging to the shoulders. When we're ready, we're going to do left leg with right arm. So nice big breath in. As you breathe out, you lengthen out with the left leg, reach forwards with the right arm and hold in that position there. And then draw them gently back in again. And swap sides. So again, our most important thing is we're staying in that nice neutral spine and our pelvis is staying nice and level. Our back's not tipping or dipping. So we're staying strong in our core as we're challenging that balance. Really go for that long lengthening feeling. That's it. Just keep checking in with those knees, making sure they're not getting too close together. I'm going to do 2 more to each side. And with those last ones, we're going to add that little bit longer hold. So as you reach forward to the right with the opposite arm and leg, we're just going to hold in that position, staying strong in the shoulder for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax that arm down. And let's swap sides. Reaching out and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drawing those legs back in. And again, opening through the knees, sitting back onto your heels, reaching forwards with the arms, and gently walk your left hand over to the left side. Pop your right hand on top of the left, and then sit your right sit bone down into your right heel. Just have a little loosen to the neck as well. A few nice deep breaths. And then slowly walk the hands over to the opposite side. Put left hand on top of right. And again, sit that left tailbone down in towards the heel. And relax. Going back to the centre. Back up into 4 points and in your own way. Let's just have a little roll around onto our bottoms. So you've got your little pillow here. When you're ready, we're going to take a slow, gentle roll down onto the mat there and letting yourself get comfortable. So let's take a moment just to set our neutral spine in lying down. We're going to take a small bend through both knees, and as you look down, we should be on what we call the train tracks. So your shoulders, hips, knees and ankles should be nice and level, okay? We're going to take that lengthening through the neck again, so growing tall through the neck. Imagine that soft peach is just tucked under the chin. We're going to roll and open and relax the shoulders so we're growing nice and wide through our collarbones and letting the shoulder blades and arms just melt down in towards the floor. So there should be no tension in the arms or the neck there. We're staying soft in those ribs, and then we're going to find that spine neutral again. So when you're ready, I want you to curl that tailbone underneath you, drop that bucket backwards as if you're flattening the back towards the floor, and then arch back in the opposite direction. So it's that small movement that we're looking for from the lowest lumbar spine, making sure the ribs are staying nice and relaxed. And then we're going to go all the way one way, all the way back the other, and just find that center position. So imagine I've got a little marshmallow, popped it underneath your spine, and you just want to gently squash that marshmallow in towards the floor. Keeping arms nice and relaxed, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to draw that zip in from the tailbone up to the belly button. And then we're going to draw up and in with our pelvic floors as well. So we're holding that little bit of tension in those lower tummy muscles, while the top tummy muscles are staying nice and relaxed. From this position here, I want you to imagine there's a spirit level going across your two hip bones. We want to keep the air bubble in the middle the whole time, so our pelvis isn't allowed to tip or twist from this position, and equal weights going down through those bottom bones through all the exercises. And this is the key part of Pilates, maintaining this neutral spine while we add in some different movements to challenge it. And don't forget to breathe. So when we're ready, we'll start with our beginning hip twist movement. We'll take a nice deep breath in, and as we breathe out, our left leg is going to stay completely still, and our right leg is going to gently tip out to 45 degrees. Hold there, slowly come back in. Again, breathing in. And as you breathe out, we swap legs to the left, let that hip gently tip out, and then slowly coming back in. You might notice that I'm just popping my fingers on my hip bones here, and that just helps to give you a little bit of feedback to make sure that you're not tipping or twisting the pelvis through the movement. And we're just working on control. So keep an eye on the opposite leg that's not moving. It should be completely still. If at any point you start feeling like that pelvis is tipping or the leg's moving, that's as far as you go out with that hip. So it's about control through the pelvis rather than how far the hip can go. So keeping that nice gentle movement, keep checking in with the neutral spine, making sure we're relaxed and we're not fixing or digging in with our arms or our neck, which often happens when we're working hard at something. And just keeping that nice, slow, controlled movement. If you feel like you can relax your arms down, that's great. And we're just going on a couple more for each side, so nice, slow control. Just check in with that marshmallow again, make sure that neutral spine is still there. That's the stuff. So if you feel like you've got control at this level and you'd like to take it up to the next level, we're going to do that. If not, you just stay here at this exercise until you master it. So we'll go for one more to each side and come back to the center. That's it. So let's take that hip twist up to a level 2. So again, setting that neutral spine, letting your right leg hover up to what we call tabletop in Pilates, which is 90-degree bend at the hip and the knee, while the left leg stays completely still. Our right leg is again going to gently tip out this time rather than twist out to about 45 degrees and then slowly come back in again. We're watching that that left pelvis is staying completely still, that equal weight's going down through bottom bones, and that marshmallow is staying squashed under our lower lumbar spine. And that's the tricky bit. So keep checking in with the shoulders and the neck and making sure there's no tension building up. And we're just working on that slow, controlled movement. Again, with the hip tip, you just go out as far as you've got control. If you feel like your leg's lifting or your pelvis is tipping, that's where you stop. And we keep working on that until we get that a little bit better. So just take your time with this movement. And if at any point you want to pop back down up to level 1, that's fine too. Let's do 2 more on this side. And that last one. And then floating that leg down. And let's swap sides. So we'll have a little tilt just to make sure we're in our neutral position, engage those lower tummies, and floating up with the left leg to that tabletop position. From here, we're gently letting that leg again tip out to about 45 degrees. Don't let that side lift, and slowly coming back in again. So that nice slow control through the movement. So arms should be relaxed and heavy by your sides, or just checking in with those hips. So with our breathing, we're breathing out as the movement goes out and in as the movement comes in. Just focusing on that opposite leg, making sure it's not moving and keeping that nice squished marshmallow. So we've got 4 more here, working on 10 on each side. And that last one, relaxing down. And then popping that leg back down, just checking we're still on our train tracks. Bring the knees up towards your chest, have a little hug if that feels nice, or you can do a knee roll, whatever feels good, just to open up through the spine for a moment. And then pop one leg back down at a time. We're going to move into our 1 leg circle, our next stability exercise. So again, just setting through the shoulders, engaging through that neutral spine. We're going to come back up into tabletop, so our right leg comes up to 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. And now I want you to imagine there's a little pencil sticking out the top of the knee, and that we're going to do 10 small round circles in one direction and 10 small round circles back the other way, all coming from the hip joint, so the knee and the ankles stay completely still. So when you're ready, nice small controlled movement for 10 circles in one direction. Doesn't matter which way you start with. And opposite leg stays completely still, so nice slow controlled movement. And we're looking for perfect circles, not fluffy clouds. Two more there. Don't forget to breathe. 10. And once you've done one direction, hold. And then we're going back in the opposite direction. And one way is always easier than the other. But again, our watch points, we're staying in that neutral, our opposite legs completely still, we're relaxed in our shoulders and we're breathing. Two more circles. And we're done, just gently floating that leg back down. And let's swap sides, so just again, little shake through, engage. Floating up to tabletop, hold, all from the hip, remember, that nice small round controlled circle with opposite leg staying completely still. And we're aiming for 10 in each direction. Go for 3 more. Hold it there, and let's swap sides. So again, swap directions. 1, 2. Check that marshmallow. Keeping zipped up through those lower tummies. 8. And that last circle there, and floating that leg back down. Take a little knee roll from side to side before moving up to level 2. Again, if that was tricky enough, just repeat that level. If you want to make things a little bit more challenging, coming back onto our train tracks, finding that neutral spine, we're going to come up into tabletop with the right leg, and now we're going to extend the knee and imagine that we're pencils at the end of our toe. Keep those front thigh muscles, those quads working, keeping that nice neutral spine there. We're going to again circle through. So we've got that longer lever to control now. Opposite leg staying nice and still, and we're going to do 10 circles in one direction and then back the other way. 4. Don't forget to breathe. Keep checking that knee's nice and strong. Hold there and then back the other way. Again, at any point you start feeling a bit too much strain through your back, or you start losing control and things are wibbling, just take that bend through the knee and come back to that first level. 2 more circles. And then floating that leg back down. Have that little loosen off. Take a roll, re-engage. Floating up to tabletop with the left, now extending. So that toe is now got the pencil on. Legs are level, hold here, and when you're ready, 10 small circles in one direction and then back the other way. Just check in with the shoulders, make sure everything's nice and relaxed. As things get tricky, we tend to dig in with the elbows, so we just have to make sure we're staying soft through our body. 9. And that last circle in that direction and hold, and then back the other way. Three more. And that last circle there, relax that foot down. And again, just bring those knees up, just having a little loosen off and a little free up there. So both of those exercises are working the control of our pelvis and those front tummy muscles. We're going to give those a little bit of a rest and move on to our glutes. So relaxing one leg down at a time. I want you to slip your pillows out and away from the head, just so that we're bringing our spine back down into a neutral position. Okay, so we're still keeping that length and we're still keeping that soft peach, but we're just relaxing down onto the floor. We're taking another little roll through the shoulders to make sure there's no tension there. We're open through our collarbones and heavy and relaxed through our shoulder blades. And now I want you to bring your heels as close to your bottom as you can do. This stops your hamstrings from working and really starts engaging those glutes that little bit more. So we're still on our train tracks, and from here we're going to start with our level 1 shoulder bridge. So relaxing arms down by the sides, take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze and engage through your glutes, and then roll and flatten your spine down towards the floor, and then start to unpick your spine from the floor one block at a time, rolling up into a shoulder bridge. Hold in this position, hips are level, equal weights going down through both heels. And then slowly start rolling back. So really thinking about this as a mobility exercise as well as a strengthening exercise for your lower lumbar spine. As you place your bottom back down onto the floor, make sure we don't go too far the other way, so we're maintaining that nice neutral spine still. And again, squeeze and engage the glutes, roll and peel and lift up into our shoulder bridge, hold, and then slowly roll down. And you might only be able to lift halfway to begin with, or just have a little spine tilt to begin with like this, but it's up to you. As long as you're starting the movement a little bit, we've got something to build on. So nice and slowly, keeping arms nice and relaxed. And if you're finding that you're digging in through your elbows too much, you can always pop your arms over your chest, which does make things a little bit trickier, and make sure that you're not using your arms and cheating. So nice and slow and controlled here. That's it. Just watch those knees are staying on the train tracks. They're not knocking together or flaring outwards. Don't forget to breathe. And we're going to work on 10. So let's go for 4 more. So we're working for that 10. There's a few more. 2 more there. And that last one. And relax back down. And again, just bring those knees into the chest, have a little hug or a little knee roll down, whichever feels nice for you. That's our first round. Our next little set, we're going to slightly adapt that. So keeping the heels as close to your bottom as you can. If you've got your pillow, I want you to reach over and pop it down in between your knees. Okay. So we're going to give the pillow a little bit of a squeeze and a pluffing. So when you're ready, we're going to roll up into our shoulder bridge, hold here, keeping pelvis nice and level. We're then going to squeeze the pillow for 1, 2, 3 pulses, and then slowly rolling back down, just that neutral spine. So when we're ready, roll and squeeze up into our shoulder bridge, holding the pelvis level, squeeze on that pillow for 1, 2, 3, and then slowly roll back down, one little block at a time, till you're back to that neutral spine. Making sure upper limbs and the arms are nice and relaxed. We're breathing through the movement. And you're just lifting to the height that you feel is a challenge for you. And again, we're going to go for 10. That's it. Good. Nice and slow. So I think that's about 4. Okay, just checking, making sure the neck's nice and relaxed. Really think about engaging into those glutes. The more you squeeze and activate them, the harder they're going to be working. And that's 2 more there. Now last one. And rolling back down through. Come pop that pillow back to the side again. Again, have a little knee roll from side to side if that feels nice, or a little knee cuddle, just loosen off the back in the opposite direction for a moment. And we've got one last set of those shoulder bridges. So bringing the feet back down, heels close to the bottom. We're going to combine our shoulder bridge with our hip twist for a little bit of a challenge to the pelvis. So when you're ready, just roll and sit the shoulders, soften through the neck, and start by engaging the glutes to roll and peel up into our shoulder bridge. Hold here. Our left leg's going to stay completely still. Our pelvis is staying level. We're going to do a little hip twist with our right hip. Come back in, a little hip twist with the left. Come back in, and then roll back down to our neutral spine. And let's go for another 10 of those. So when you're ready, engage the glutes, drawing up the pelvic floors, in with the tummy muscles. Hold here. Right leg tips out. Left leg tips out. And then slowly rolling back down one block at a time into our neutral spine. And again, engage those glutes, roll and peel and lift, hold, right leg, left leg, and rolling on down. And for this one, I do think it helps just to pop your fingers on your hip bones, just to check that we're maintaining that nice neutral spine and staying strong through our pelvises as our hips are moving. And try and focus on keeping that weight as you're rolling up into those heels. Let's say we're halfway there. Let's try another 5. My counting can be a bit dodgy sometimes. Clicks and cracks can be normal as long as they're not painful. Let's go for 2 more there. And roll and relax back down. And again, have a nice little knee roll, or bring your knees up towards your chest, have a little hug, and let's come back onto our train track. So taking that little bit more distance between the heels and the glutes, come and get your pillows back and pop them back underneath the neck so you're in that nice comfortable neutral position. As you glance down, your shoulders, your hips, your knees and your ankles should all be level. And we're going to go into our single stroke double leg stretch. So re-engaging those lower tummies again, so tilting backwards and forwards. Finding that center by squishing that marshmallow down towards the floor, zipping up to the zip and drawing in with those pelvic floors, so holding that nice level tension here. We're rolling and relaxing through the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to float the right leg up into our tabletop position. Hold here. Then extend the knees if you're pushing a button on the opposite side of the room. Hold there. Come back to tabletop and relax the leg back down. And swap sides. So coming up to tabletop, hold. Extend the leg as if you're pushing a button and hold. Come back to tabletop and relax back down. So again, making sure we're nice and relaxed. Keeping engaged those neutral spines. We're challenging those front tummy muscles again. And with this one of our main watch points is that the feet aren't getting closer and closer together. So we're staying on train tracks with this movement and staying engaged the pelvis, so not tipping or rocking at all. Again, popping your fingers on your hips can just help give you that feedback to make sure you've got that nice neutral position. Lovely. So it's almost mimicking walking while keeping that nice neutral spine. And don't forget to breathe. Keep a little watch that neutral, that tabletop isn't getting closer and closer. We're still making that 90 degrees here. You don't want your knees up to your chest. That's it. And let's just start feeling that through your front tummy muscles here. Let's do 2 more to each side. Lovely. And just relax there. And again, another little knee roll. So that's our first level. And if you want to stick there for the next set, that's absolutely fine. If you want to take a little bit more of a challenge, that's fine too. Okay, so we're moving on to level 2 of this exercise. So again, just resetting that neutral spine, zipping up, drawing in with those pelvic floors. We're floating up to tabletop with our right leg. We're going to extend as if we're pushing that button. And now we're going to slowly lower that leg down towards the floor without letting the back pop up from the floor and without letting the heel touch. Hold in this long position. Draw the knee back up to tabletop and relax back down. So again, swapping sides. Left side comes to tabletop. Extend as if you're pushing a button. Slowly lower down, but don't let the heel touch. Come back to tabletop and relax. And again, tabletop. Extend, slowly lower down, don't let it touch, come back to tabletop and relax. Tabletop, extend the knees, slowly lower down, don't let the heel touch, come back to tabletop and relax. So keeping that nice smooth movement, making sure we're staying on our train tracks, those feet aren't getting closer and closer together. We're maintaining that nice neutral spine. And with that longer lever, we're getting that little bit more work going through our lower tummy muscles and our transabdominals. That's it. So nice, slow control. And it's that lengthened position where you feel like your back wants to lift from the floor and that you want to maintain that neutral. So keep moving here. Take a little check in with the shoulders, make sure they're nice and relaxed. Make sure the neck's nice and soft. Staying on those train tracks. And you should start feeling that kicking in those lower tummies. There we go. Don't forget to breathe nice, big, deep breaths right to the bottom of the lungs. I'm going to do one more to each side, but if you want to add a little hold in here for that last one, just to really challenge that anterior sling of your tummy, hold, come back to tabletop, relax and swap sides. So tabletop, extend and add that little hold if you want to. Come back to tabletop and relax down. And again, have that little knee roll from side to side, free off the lower back. Okay. And bring your heels up towards your chest and have another little roll. We're going to challenge your coordination a little bit now by adding in the arms. Okay, so relaxing one leg down at a time, going back onto our train tracks, and you can either pick that first level or the second level with the legs with this exercise, it's up to you. We're going to find that center spine, engage those lower tummy muscles, float both arms up to 90 degrees as you come up into our tabletop, so hold in this position. And then from this position, you're going to extend the knee, lengthen back with the low leg, and open up to the arms towards the opposite side of the room. So hold in that nice long position, watching the ribs don't pop or flare, keeping in that nice marshmallow squash to the floor. So hold here, come back up to tabletop, relax the leg down and swap legs. So start with tabletop and the arms up at 90, extend, slowly lower down, open up through the arms, hold, come back up to tabletop, and relax the leg down and swap sides. So just think everything goes out together, everything draws in together, and you'll feel that little bit of extra challenge through those tummy muscles with this exercise, making sure in that nice long position that your marshmallow is staying squashed to the floor and that you're breathing. Have that little wiggle with the neck and make sure it's nice and loose. And if at any point that gets too much, just go back to the first level of just extending the leg to the ceiling without doing the full lower, like this. So just challenge yourself to your level. And if that longer level's you, that's fine too. Let's just stay here for a little bit longer. checking in with that breathing, especially as you're trying to get tired, get some oxygen around to those muscles. And we'll do one more to each side. And just relax there and bring your knees back in towards your chest and have that little hug through. Have a little roll for the shoulders. And then relax one leg down at a time. We're going to work a little bit harder on our upper tummy muscles now. So if we slide the pillow away from underneath you, so again, popping the neck back down to the floor, engage into that neutral spine, which is important with these exercises. We're going to bring our hands and pop them, interlace our fingers and pop them behind our heads here. So our hands are just supporting our neck, definitely not pulling on the neck. And we're keeping nice and wide through our elbows to make sure that's the case. Okay, keeping that nice distance between chin and the chest. We're going to find that neutral spine, so squishing the marshmallow down, engage into those lower tummy muscles. And from here, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to roll and curl our shoulder blades up from the floor as far as we feel comfortable, engaging through those upper abdominals, hold here, and then slowly rolling back down again. So we're maintaining that nice neutral spine in the neck all the way through the lift, hold, and then roll and relax back down. Staying nice and open through your shoulders and your elbows, hold, and relax back down. So breathing out as you're coming up, hold, and breathing it in as we come back down. And breathing out, and breathing in. So you should feeling your upper tummy muscles engaging here, hold, and relax back down. This is our abdominal prep exercise. Hold, and relax. Let's do 4 more. Roll and hold, and relax. 2, nice distance here, 3, and that last little squeeze, 4, and relax back down. And again, just check in with the neck. It's really important that we're not building any tension up through here. Okay, so that's our level 1. And you can either just stay at this level for the next 10, or if you want to make it a little bit trickier, we're going to come up into a tabletop. So finding that neutral spine, floating the right leg into tabletop position, so holding here, and we're going to go for another little 10. So keeping wide through the elbows, just supporting the neck gently, big breath in. As you breathe out, roll and squeeze up into the upper abdominals, hold, and relax back down for 1. And again, 2, keeping that marshmallow engaged as well. 3, 4, that's it. 5, 6, 4 more to go. And remember, breathing out as you come up, breathing in as you come down. 2 more. And the last one there. And relax that leg down. Have a little roll from side to side. Got one last set of 10. So either in that neutral or we're swapping our tabletops. Okay? So again, just check in with the shoulders, make sure they're feeling okay. Staying nice and loose through those fingers interlaced behind the neck. Finding that neutral, floating left leg up this time, hold. And when you're ready, rolling and peeling and lifting those shoulders from the floor, hold and relax back down. Keeping that nice tuck through the chin and nice and open. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out as you come in, 6, 7, 2 more. And that last one there. And relax that leg down. Let both legs come nice and long. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. So a nice big opening out through those front tummy muscles. Give them a rub if they need it. Big breath in. And relax and let everything breathe out. And when you're ready, we're going to take a little roll onto our sides. Okay, so we're going to take a roll onto our sides. In your own way, whichever's comfortable, we're going to come around. So with the little pillow, you can either pop the arm just above there, just so the pillow's supporting the neck, okay? We're going to come nice and long, so I want you to imagine you're led on a plank of wood so that your shoulders, hips, knees and ankles are level. What we don't want to see is any bananaing, so we don't want to see legs coming forwards or arching too far backwards, so we should be nice and straight, okay? We're going to find that neutral spine in this position, so you're going to gently curl your tailbone underneath you and then arch back the opposite way. So have that little rock backwards and forwards and then just gently tucking that tailbone underneath you and engaging to those lower tummies and pelvic floors. From here, we're going to gently push that top hip away a little bit. So we want to try and make a little mouse hole underneath our waists here to stop our bodies from just bananaing and flopping down in towards the floor there. So just staying engaged, staying engaged to the pelvis. Now you can pop your fingers resting down in front of you just to help with the balance, but what we don't want to see is any white knuckles or gripping, okay? Again, staying lengthened and relaxed through the neck here. And we're going to begin with our upper leg lift. So from this position, staying engaged through our tummies, we're going to do a pointy toe to lift the top leg directly above the underneath leg, and then point the heel to slowly lower back down again. And again, pointing toe to lift and pointing heel to lower. So as we're doing this, we're working those glute muscles. We're making sure we're staying nice and relaxed through our waist and our hip here. We shouldn't be hitching in any way. So keeping that nice open space there. And it helps to try and squeeze to engage those glutes as well, just to really get them firing. Again, another big watch point is that the leg doesn't start tracking forwards, because if that happens, we're starting to use our front thigh muscles rather than the glutes, which is what we're aiming for with this exercise. And another nice thing to imagine is that you've got a pencil at the end of the toe or a paintbrush, and you're drawing that same line directly over it, up and down on the wall, so it's tracing itself, not scribbling on the wall. So nice, slow and control here. And we're aiming for 15. So I'd say we've done about 8. That's it, 10. 5 more here. Have a little rest if you need to, but we're looking for a good bit of burn and warmth around the hip. So 4 more. 3. 2. And 1, that last one, having that little lift there. And just give that hip a nice rest. Come and drop that top leg forwards to help loosen off a bit further into the hip. But we're going to work on our adductors, our inner thigh muscles of the underneath leg. So from this position, top leg comes right forward so it's out of the way. Underneath leg's nice and straight. Pull your toes up towards you so that you've got that knee nice and extended and we're not getting any twisting or tipping through the knee. And then we're going to work those inner thigh muscles to lift and draw the underneath leg up towards the ceiling. We're keeping relaxed and soft in our waist, so we're not hitching up through the hip to get that movement. So just pop the hand on the hip to keep the length here, engage into that neutral spine, and when you're ready, squeeze those adductors, hold in that position, making sure knees staying straight, and then relax back down. And let's go for 15 here. So 2, 3, don't forget to breathe, just check you're nice and relaxed in the neck. 4, 5, 6, 7, or 5 more there. See if you can squeeze that a little bit higher. 3, 4. And that last one, hold in that adductor position. So see if you can hold that leg up, and let's do a little pulse for 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax that leg down. Come and pop those legs back on top of each other, and we're going to move into our clam exercise, which is working our glute med, which is a really important stabilising muscle for the pelvis. So take a small bend in the knee. As you glance over your shoulder, your feet should be level with your glutes, okay? So that's the bend that you need. Again, take that little tilt backwards and forwards to the pelvis, and this time we're going to roll that top hip a little bit further forward than you feel like you want to be. And the key is keeping this hip forwards. What we don't want is the hip and the whole spine rolling backwards and the movement coming from your lower spine. So we're keeping that top hip right forwards, a bit further than where you feel like you need to be, keeping those lower tummy muscles switched on. And sometimes it can help just to pop your hand there to make sure that you're not tipping back. Keep ankles glued together, and then you're just lifting your knees apart. That small movement, like a clam, and then slowly relaxing back down again. So keeping that top hip forwards. And we're going to go for 15 here. So 3, 4, 5. It's just a small movement, okay? 6. If it starts feeling easy, you're probably tipping back, so just tip a bit further forward. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 more there, 14, and that last one, 15, and relax down. Give that hip a little rub, get some life back into it. Before we do our last exercise on this side, our level 2 clam. So try this one. If it gets too tough, just drop down to this first level. So when you're ready again, engaging through into that neutral spine, zipping up through your core and your pelvic floors. And this time we're going to hover both ankles from the floor. We're still keeping our ankles glued together. And from here, we're going to lift that top leg off the bottom. So you will have a little bit more range in this position, and then relaxing back down again. So we're going to go for 15 again. So 1, 2, again, just making sure we're not rolling back through the hip. That's it. 4, 5. Nice slow movement, don't forget to breathe. Lovely, got 5 more. And that last one, big lift, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax and give that hip a nice rub. So we're done on this side. We're going to take a little roll around over onto the opposite side to do the same again. Okay? So again, in your own way, as you feel comfortable, come take a little roll over onto the other side. Take that nice long arm out in front or in front of you, whichever feels most comfortable. I'm going to start with our upper leg lifts again, okay? So again, imagine you're balanced on that plank of wood out in front of you there, okay? The top leg is going to stay directly above the underneath leg, and we're going to go for those upper leg lifts. So just take that tilt backwards and forwards, find that neutral spine, engage those low tummies. If you need to just have that little rest in front, you can. And we're going to do pointy toe to lift the top leg, hold, flex the heel, and lower back down. And we're going to go for 15 again here. And remember that watch point, that we're not hunching or hitching through the hip. So all of this hard work is coming through from the glutes, okay? 4. And just lift to the height where you feel is comfortable for you, and then it's all coming from the hip and nothing's coming from the waist there. That's it. Remembering to breathe. And last 5 here, so pointy toe to lift, pointy heel to lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. And relaxing that leg down, give that hip a little rub. And again, just dropping that top leg forwards to give it a little bit of a stretch and to open up for your inner leg lift. So from here, you're going to flex the underneath foot up towards you, our knees staying nice and straight and extended. We're staying relaxed in our waist here, and all the hard work's coming through those adductors again. So when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, we're lifting into that lower leg adduction and then lowering back down. And let's go for 15 again. 2. So that watch point, we're keeping that knee nice and straight. Don't want any tipping or twisting through the knee. Relaxed in your shoulders and open, engaged in those lower tummies. Just keep working through the points. 10 more to go. Just check in with the breathing. Last 5. Just lift to the height you feel comfortable. And as we're coming up for that last one, we're going to lift and hold, and we're just pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing that leg down. Come on, pop those legs back on top of each other, and we're going to get into that clam position again. So we're taking that small bend through the knee. Again, glancing over your shoulder to make sure your feet are level with your bottom in this position, okay? Popping your hand onto the hip bone, just tilting backwards and forwards through that pelvis to find that neutral, and then lengthening through that top hip again, so you're trying to create that little mouse hole underneath the waist. Rolling and relaxing through the shoulders, and when we're ready, keeping that hip rolled right forwards, a little bit further than you feel like you should be. Keep ankles glued together, and just lift that top leg, that small movement off the bottom, and then relax back down. So we're going to go for 15 here. If you start feeling it's getting easy, just roll that bit further forward, making sure it's all coming through that glute med muscle. Really give it a squeeze at the top. 2. Don't forget to breathe. 3 more. And 9. And that last one, and that's our first level, level 1. Give that hip a little rub. So we're going to take that clam up to level 2. So again, just tilting the pelvis backwards and forwards, engage those neutrals, and this time hovering those ankles in that elevated position. Holding here, keep hip rolled forwards. We're going to lift the top knee from the bottom one, hold, and then relax back down. So keeping that hip right forward. And again, we're going to go for those 15. 2. 3. You can always drop the ankles down at any point if you need to. 5 more to go. 1, 2, 3, and that last one, 5, and just relax down and give the hips a little rub, and that's our hard work done. For now, we're going to have a little roll around onto our backs and have a bit of a stretch out. So again, in your own time, come and take that little roll onto your back there. And let's start with some nice knee rolls just to loosen off the low spine. So bringing feet together, we're going to let both knees roll over to one side, keeping shoulder blades relaxed to the floor. Hold here. Draw knees back up to the center and over the opposite way. So just taking some nice deep breaths. It should be a nice free movement. And if we really want to open up and bring the spine out that little bit further, as you're coming over with the knee, just lengthen out that top knee. And then with the arms, we're going to reach up and over towards the opposite side. And hold here. And then again, bringing the knees in, rolling over, arms come to the opposite side, lengthen out that top knee, and over we go. You might get a few clicks and pops here, but that's all okay. Rolling over, one more to each side here. And again. Okay, we're going to let our left leg go nice and long. We're going to gently bring our right knee up and over and across the body as far as it feels comfortable, just to free up through the glutes. As you're doing that here, just roll and relax the shoulders, make sure there's no tension in the neck. It's a nice, gentle, passive movement just to feel that stretch and open up that muscle after we've just been working out quite hard. So hold here and breathe. And then when you're ready, come and pop your hands gently behind the knee. And from this position, we're going to pop the heel and slowly lift up towards the ceiling. Now go gentle with this one if you've had sciatica in the past, so just take it to the point where you feel comfortable and where you're feeling a bit of an opening up going on through your hamstrings. So it's where you feel comfortable. But again, as we're doing this movement and this stretch, we're making sure our neck and our shoulders are relaxed. We've got no tension anywhere. We're just holding and supporting that leg as we're opening up through our hamstrings. And just hold that movement there. Take a little circle through your ankle in one direction. And then back the other way. And then gently heel to toe, heel to toe. Again, just taking it very gently if you've had sciatica. And then holding here. Now gently bring up your left knee into that crook lying position. Pop your right ankle onto your left knee here. And you can either just start by popping a little bit of pressure and opening up with that right knee into that sort of figure of four position and holding here. Or if you want to go into a bit more of a stretch that really focuses in on your piriformis, that bottom muscle that can get very tight, we're going to gently take our hands onto our left thigh, reach forward and draw it up towards our chest as far as we can go comfortably. Again, making sure the neck and shoulders are relaxed with this one and just holding that pressure through the hip. Okay. A few nice deep breaths and just go as far as you feel it's comfortable for you with this one. And if you feel like you need a little bit more time, you can always go back to this one later. And then relaxing the right leg down. And let's go for the left. So let the right leg go nice and long. Our left knee is coming up and gently across the body just to open up through this hip on this side. Give it a little rub. Roll through the shoulders. Nice big breath in. And just hold. And gently see if you can release that bit further if it feels comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, come and relax and pop your hands behind the knee. And again, just taking that heel ever so gently up towards the ceiling, just to get that opening up through the hamstrings and the back part of the leg. So just lengthen out to the point where you feel. Okay, hold in that position. Take a circle through your ankle in one direction. And then back the other way. And then we're just going to pulse toe to heel and just feeling a bit of lengthening going through your calf as well. And then when you're ready, drawing up with your right knee, let's pop that left ankle onto the right knee and either just starting that first level by pushing the knee gently away from you, opening up through the hip there. And if you want that a little bit more, reaching down, take hold of your right thigh and draw it up towards your body. But again, making sure neck and shoulders are relaxed. And just hold that tension there. Just feel that hip through. Take another nice deep breath in and relax through. And when you're ready, relaxing that foot back down again. And let's come up into standing for our last time. So nice and slowly, in your own way. Coming standing up and round. I want you to start with your feet hip width apart there. We're going to lengthen our arms up towards the ceiling and really reach up nice and tall for a nice long full body stretch and hold. Interlacing the fingers, we're going to take a little side bend over into one direction, hold. Come back to the center, take a side bend into the opposite direction and hold. Come back to the center and then just take a roll and a flop forward. Take a little dangle, let shoulders relax, have a little bend through the knees. Take a big deep breath in. And when you're ready, engage those glutes and roll and peel and stack your spine, coming back up nice and tall for that final time. Thinking about that helium balloon, lengthening up nice and tall, and you're done for this afternoon's class. Thank you.